Welcome, Dharma warrior. In this space, we walk the path of truth with steady hearts, protect what is sacred, and choose peace without abandoning strength. Breathe in presence, breathe out resistance. Let's begin.
There are moments in life when it feels as though the world has stopped seeing you, not because you've changed as a human being, but because your circumstances have. I've learned something over the last few years that I never expected to learn. Your circumstances are not your character. They're simply the chapter you're living through in that moment. Life has a way of biting us all. Sometimes it's financial hardship, sometimes it's grief, sometimes divorce, or illness. Sometimes it's losing the very foundation you spent a lifetime building. None of us are immune. What matters isn't whether life bites you. What matters is what happens next. Many of you know that I've been navigating one of the most difficult financial periods of my life. It isn't something I wear proudly. It isn't something I ever imagined would happen. And suffer I did. What surprised me wasn't the hardship itself. It was how quickly some relationships changed once I entered it. The bank had been a trusted tool throughout my life. My first account was opened with the money I received after my first communion. I was taught to respect credit, to honor my obligations, to build my future responsibly. I believed in banking and still do. And I think that's why what happened to me hurt me so deeply. People often assume the story is about debt, but it isn't. It's about dignity. And so much more. I never asked anyone to erase what I owed. I wasn't looking for an escape. I was looking for a path back. Instead, I found myself explaining the worst chapter of my life over and over and over again. Different departments, different people, different accounts, the same story again and again and again. I explained that I was grieving, that my friend had been murdered, that I was the last person to see him alive, that I was involved in an active police investigation, that I was just trying to recover. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't avoiding anyone. I was communicating, but repeating trauma without receiving meaningful guidance doesn't help a person heal. It simply deepens the groove. And that's when I realized something. Good systems don't simply collect information. They do something with it. If someone tells you they're suffering, the next question shouldn't be, where's my money? It should be, help me understand what happened. And after that, let's see how we can help and get you back up on your feet. Not because debt disappears, but because people matter. I've said this many times throughout my journey. If you protect the person, the debt gets paid. Everyone wins. The customer regains their dignity. The bank retains a client. Trust has an opportunity to grow instead of disappear. The person leaves with wind in their sails for the future of their financial life instead of believing they're permanently defined by one painful chapter. That is stewardship. People often ask me why I fought so hard. Well, I refuse to simply accept that the path that others thought was inevitable was my answer. Because bankruptcy was never the path I believed was right for me. I believed I could recover. I believed I could rebuild. And more importantly, I believed in me. That belief carried me through when very little else did. Throughout this journey, my intention was never to attack people. I never saw the individual sitting across from me as the enemy. Most people are doing the very best they can within the systems that they've been given. What concerned me was something much bigger. How quickly we can mistake someone's circumstance for their character. Sometimes the person sitting across from you has tremendous influence over what happens next. A loan may be approved or declined. A hardship program may be offered or denied. A file may move forward or come to a halt. Those decisions matter. Not simply because of policy, but because every decision begins with a human judgment. And when someone is struggling, it's easy to see only the debt, the missed payments, the crisis, the paperwork. What's much harder to see is the person who existed before the crisis and the person they may yet become after it. I found myself asking a question over and over again. What are they seeing that I'm not? Because the person that I know myself to be is not the reflection that they're seeing. And it reminded me of standing in front of a painting. Two people can look at the same canvas and see something entirely different. The painting hasn't changed. The perspective has. That's why I believe one of the most powerful things we can do, whether we're parents, professionals, bankers, employers, or friends, is ask more questions, just one even, before making one more assumption. Questions reveal people. Assumptions often conceal them. Sometimes the greatest act of stewardship isn't having all the answers. It's having the humility to realize that there may be more to the story than we've seen so far. Imagine your life is a painting. Over time, dust accumulates, colors start or are faded. Perhaps the canvas even gets scratched. Some people look at it and conclude, it's finished, it's ugly, let's discard it. But I don't think this way at all. I simply see a painting that may need another brush stroke or two, add more color, or heck, start the painting all over again and create something fresh and new. All that is needed is someone willing to believe that their masterpiece of life is never complete or stuck the way that it is. Ever. Don't mistake dust on the canvas for the end of the painting. Life isn't over simply because one chapter became difficult. Let's talk about another teacher from nature that I admire. The turtle. Nobody celebrates the turtle because it's fast. The turtle doesn't panic. It doesn't compare itself to anyone else. It simply keeps moving, one deliberate step after another. That's perseverance. Not thinking about perseverance, practicing it. Life had me upside down more than once. Perseverance isn't about never failing. It's about never quitting on yourself, no matter how difficult the chapter becomes. After all, you can't have a lotus without mud. I never wanted revenge. I simply wanted to be heard. I wanted my experiences to be seen for what they truly were. Not dismissed, not minimized, not explained away. I wanted someone to patiently review the complete picture, consider the facts, and honestly ask whether my experiences reflected the level of stewardship we should expect from the people and institutions we trust most. Today, there are still reviews taking place in different areas of my life. Some involve professional relationships, some involve institutions, and some are deeply personal. Each one matters for different reasons. Not because I expect perfection, but because I believe every one of them deserves an honest review. Improvement begins with the courage to acknowledge when something wasn't good enough. And only then can we decide what deserves change. And if my experiences, wherever they lead, encourage even one person, one workplace, one institution, or one family to pause, ask more questions, make fewer assumptions, and protect another person's dignity, then every difficult chapter will have carried a purpose beyond my own. Life may bite you. The system may misunderstand you. Someone may mistake your circumstance for your character. Don't let them. Stay calm. Document the truth. Move like the turtle. Keep painting, protect your dignity, and remember this. Your circumstance is not who you are. If we protect the person, the debt gets paid. Everyone wins. That is my hope. Until we meet again, walk with courage, lead with compassion, and protect your peace.
Same but different.